In a world of excess, why do we oftentimes feel empty? Um, in our modern life, we have too much of everything almost. It seems like everything material, at least. When you talk about psychic drives, psychic drives, they're the drive to eat, the drive to move, to create, to have sex. There's many others. Those are the most common ones. Um, they're these things that they gain energy over time until they culminate and until they're resolved. Modern life, it satisfies these psychic drives so frequently, especially through social media, that they begin to lose their meaning and they're not given space to resolve on their own. For example, you're scrolling through your phone, you're looking at Instagram Reels or TikTok videos. You see a video specifically curated to your interests. It's somebody cooking a gourmet meal, somebody running, lifting weights, exercising, somebody making a piece of music, they're painting. And you haven't done any of these things in your life in a very long time. You do them very rarely. You haven't played an instrument since middle school or high school. You eat mainly processed, prepackaged foods. You hardly cook your own home meals. You don't exercise all that often. And these two are intertwined. You go home that night and you watch videos of people having sex with each other. And in real life, you hardly interact with men or women that you're attracted to. When you're scrolling through these social media apps, it kills the drive before the drive can build up any energy, enough energy for you to actually act on that desire. Each one of these videos, too, it'll be an extreme example. It's not somebody making a meal for their family. It's a professional chef making a meal. The athlete is on steroids that's in the video. The musician or the painter, they've been doing it for decades and they've mastered their craft. The porn, it's extreme, it's fetishized. It's two people that don't know each other, they don't love each other, obviously. And each time you watch someone else doing these things, it resets your drive to do them. Your brain thinks that you're the one that's making the meal. You're the one exercising. You're the one painting. Social media has us convinced that we're all Renaissance men, that we're jack of all trades. We can do all these different things because we watch videos on how to do them. We all know the person who thinks that they can fight because they watch videos on MMA. Used to be like, if somebody said that they were interested in something, like say they were interested in fashion, that means that they would be making their own clothing. They would be going out and thrifting their own clothing and customizing it. Or if they were into movies, they would have at least be into photography. They'd be into filmography, trying to create something, contribute something to the hobby that they're interested in. If they're into cooking, they obviously make their own food. They try and learn new recipes. But nowadays it feels like when people are interested in those things, they're only interested in consuming content in those things. They're not interested in actually doing them. They say they're interested in cooking and they just watch cooking shows. They say that they're interested in fitness and they just watch fitness videos, and they go to the gym once, twice a week, maybe. Social media has given them the false belief that they're an expert in these things when they've barely scratched the surface. Like, I'm a strength coach, so I'll just use an example that's pretty common in my everyday life. I'll overhear two people in the gym and they'll be talking about what the most optimal exercise is for a certain muscle group, which exercise is better than the other. One person will be critiquing another person's form, like nitpicking, not even a valid critique. And both of these people will be skinny with no muscular development. They have nothing to show for what they've put in the gym. And either that's because they haven't put in enough work in the gym and they're just getting their validation through fitness videos that make them feel like they know what they're doing when they don't. The only way to learn truly how to do something is by doing it. You can watch all the videos in the world about how to perform a skill, and it will never match doing the thing. One example is when I would have friends over at my college dorm, or I'd be cooking for my roommates. I'd be cooking something very simple, chicken breast tenderloins in olive oil with seasonings. I've done it hundreds of times, same pan, same stove, and so I'm pretty good at it. I can make the outside of the chicken browned and crispy while the inside is still juicy and tender. And people would ask me, they're like, "Oh, what's the recipe?" Or how can I cook like that? And it's like, I don't even know what to say to them, because you just have to feel it. There is no recipe. You just have to do it enough times until you know what it feels like to do it. You know the ins and outs of the thing. Miyamoto Musashi, he would call this learning the spirit of the task. Through repetition, you learn what the spirit of the thing is, and you become a master in it in that way. I would say the deeper problem that arises from these psychic drives being stifled is the development of the self, of individuation. People experience their life through the lens of social media, sometimes literally. They go to a concert, they record it, they take pictures of every meal that they eat before they eat it, they post a gym selfie every time they go. People do these things to form others' perceptions of them. And every time that they do it, they're really robbing themselves of an opportunity of the true experience, and of introspection into their own life. Like, you're separated from your own actions because you're always filtering them through a screening process of what will look best to others. When you truly immerse yourself in a task and you get familiar with the spirit of it, you're also going to learn about yourself during the process. Carl Jung talks about how in the modern day, all the land masses have been discovered. Centuries ago, people sailed on ships, discovered all the land masses. And so the only true adventures that you can go on are within your own mind, specifically the unconscious mind. You need to forge your own path through this proverbial jungle of the unknown, of the self, in order for your experiences to be meaningful. You can't just follow the trail that somebody else has made. You can't follow the advice of a life guru who says, "Oh, you need to do this or that," or, "You need to clean your room, bucko." Every person's path is going to be different, and that's why you have to forge it on your own. People they're wandering around a barren open field that's been tread on by millions of others, and they're wondering why they don't feel satisfied with their lives or their accomplishments. They're spiritually hollow because they never truly challenge themselves, and modern life isn't innately challenging in itself anymore. We don't have to struggle every day to survive. Life, living, literally the bare minimum, just living right now, is very easy. Obviously, you can talk about economics and wealth disparities and all that. I'm talking about literally just survival. Much easier now than it was previously in human history. You have to self-impose difficult things in order to grow, because life no longer forces you to grow. Our modern life is very soft, it's very coddled. And when I say these people wandering around, I say they're spiritually hollow, I don't mean that they're lacking in a religion. There are plenty of people that go to church frequently that vehemently believe in their faith, and they're still spiritually hollow. When I say that, I'm referring to their soul. They have a weak soul. They don't know why they do the things they do, why they believe the things that they believe. They have no strong convictions. And if their everyday routines were to change, or if the culture that they were born in was to change, they would change incredibly easily, incredibly quickly. The more that you know that yourself and you can integrate the different parts of your personality in harmony, the stronger your soul and your sense of self is going to be. With the excess and the softness of life, we never get a chance to know ourselves unless we purposefully deprive ourselves of these outward stimulus and we focus inward. You need to cultivate the church that's within yourself, the connection to your shadow, your anima, your bush spirit, your id, your superego, however you want to separate the different parts of yourself that need to be integrated. These things that call you to action, even though you might not realize them. If you can do this, all the dysfunctional behaviors in your life are going to fall away, and you'll be able to appreciate the small things that are in your life. I'm going to borrow a line from someone else here. The natural state of the world is miracles. But we're so distracted and focused in the wrong places that we never stop to see them. So building your soul and your sense of self, it strengthens your connection to everything else in the universe. And that's the only way to feel truly satisfied and fulfilled rather than empty. So a little experiment. If you took away all your worldly possessions and all your accomplishments, what would you have? Like, this is the essence of your soul, really. No family, no friends, no job, no college degree if you got one, none of your accomplishments. Who are you? What do you have? Are you loyal? Are you dedicated? Are you honest? Do you feel that there's like an energy within you that's driving you and pushing you forward? Like, I feel like in my life, there's this arrow that's made out of pure energy, and I can imagine it flying through the air. When I envision it, I can feel it in my chest. It's like a bolt of lightning. And to me, that's my soul. And I had to go through some hardships to get there. The hardships that I went through were because of things that I did to myself. Not on purpose. At the time, I was just doing what felt comfortable. And that was where I messed up. I was doing things that felt comfortable and caused hardship for myself later on. Not doing my homework freshman year. Well, that put me into academic probation. Now I have to climb out of that hole with academic probation. Not eating a good diet freshman year led to me getting injured for college baseball. Now I got to go through a year and a half of rehab for my shoulder for college baseball. Going through these difficult things in my life made me more introspective, and in the long run made me stronger. I'm happy that I went through those pains. I'm happy I went through that suffering, because my life outside of that has been very easy. I needed to go through adversity and hardship in order to better discover my sense of self and my soul. And I hope that you guys can too.